From caves to forests and many places in between, join me as I reveal to you 10 of the most mysterious lost worlds on planet Earth. 10. Mount Roraima. South America is a continent that has many lost worlds, and that is mainly contained via the mountains and mountain ranges that it has. One of the most unbelievable of them is the one called Mount Roraima. The mountain is located in between Brazil, Venezuela, and Guyana, and is actually one of the oldest rock formations on Earth, which is surprising given that the Earth has been around a while and has many mountains like this down a peg over the millennia. One of the unique features of the mountain is that it has a flat top, which is very rare when you consider what most mountains look like. There's also the sheer size and length of the mountain. It is 9 miles long. The way nature plays with the mountain has attracted many across the world. It has waterfalls because of the consistent rain. It's home to rare plants. And the journey to get to the top of the mountain isn't easy. But despite that, it's a popular destination for adventurers. Add to all of that, because it's 9,000 feet tall, the mountain is touched by the clouds, making it truly feel like another world when you look at it from above. So if you do manage to get there, you're in for an experience like few others. Number 9. Atlantis. Oh yes, I know that Atlantis is technically not real, but if you think about how much Atlantis is ingrained in our culture, it might as well be. What's more, there are people who honestly believe Atlantis is there in the waters of the world and just hasn't been discovered yet. Which is ironic because one of the greatest philosophers of all time, Plato, actually wrote about Atlantis in Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was an advanced civilization, but one that made the mistake of trying to take down Athens. Athens would respond with deadly force, and even the gods of the Greek pantheon got involved and sank Atlantis to the bottom of the ocean, where it remains to this day. So, technically speaking, it's a legend, one that many feel Plato wrote about to be as a warning to certain civilizations. But even so, the legend has caused Atlantis to be a key part of the world's culture. Marvel, DC Comics, Disney, and more have incorporated Atlantis into their universes. But if it was real, wouldn't that be something? 8. Mountains of Palawan. There are many sides to the islands of Palawan. It makes up the largest province in the Philippines, and it's known for its great and wondrous beauty. But within these islands are a stretch of mountains, ones that are actually covered by forests so thickly that many don't know exactly what goes on in them. This is not meant to be a ghost story of sorts, but rather an indication of just how remote these mountains are. These aren't small. They average about 3,500 feet in height above sea level, and to get that tall, as noted before, you'd have to go through the forests that surround them. Due to this, many consider the province a castaway's dream come true, because you could live off the land and not have to worry too much about human interference, which most definitely is a dream for many. Number 7. Lake Vostok and Antarctica. Antarctica is the only continent on Earth today that isn't full of people. Granted, there are continents that don't have a good ratio of people living on parts of its land, but with Antarctica, it's way more in favor of nature than people than the others. In fact, though we have had some scientific bases on Antarctica set up, we're nowhere close to having a true settlement there, and that's because of the intense cold, insane snowstorms, and the fact that there is so much lack of life-sustaining food and other materials for humans to try and live there. So while it's true that we know of Antarctica and have even studied it, it's still a mystery to this day. And other parts of Antarctica that we know about we can't reach, like Lake Vostok, which is a lake that is actually buried beneath miles of snow where its surface is actually well below sea level. Scientists are infinitely curious about this lake, but because of the very nature of Antarctica, we can't get to it. And what if this was but one simple mystery within this lost world? What could we find if we had a little more time and access? 6. The deserts of the world. If you're looking for terrain that is infinitely inhospitable, there are a few easy places you can go. And one of the best places to go for that kind of thing is the deserts of the world. Yet you might once again be curious about why these are part of a lost world here on Earth. Well, it's very simple. Most deserts on Earth didn't start out that way. If you look back at the history of the Earth, you'll note that the deserts honestly came via time and various other factors emerging, such as lakes drying up due to increased heat, areas losing their precious nutrients, and thus not being able to grow anything substantial, and so on and so forth. What's more, for places like Egypt, the constant bombardment of sand, wind, and sun have literally buried parts of its history within the sand itself, thus making searching the sands of the Sahara and more a necessary evil of archaeology. And to that end, many treasures have been found within those sands. So now take that one desert and multiply it by all the deserts in the world right now. It's a lot of potential finds within the lost world of the sands. Number 5. Mobile Cave. Caves are everywhere in the world today, but some are more unique than others, such as Mobile Cave in Romania, which has caught the eyes of many in terms of how it has created an ecosystem. This particular cave has somehow created and sustained life with very minimal oxygen and no natural sunlight. Why is that an important factor to note? Well, if you know how plants and animals work, these are all but necessary requirements to make things live and survive, and yet in this cave, that's not the case. It might be its position to the Black Sea that causes this, or maybe it's something else that's causing the life to grow. No one knows for sure. Imagine if we could figure out why this is happening. This could completely change how we view certain ecosystems in our world, and maybe even test if we can make our own settlements in such conditions. 4. Bosavi Crater. It's been known for quite some time that Papua New Guinea is its own version of a lost world because of how much there is to discover there still. Yet, if you wanted to go even deeper into what a lost world it is, you'll need to look within a former volcano. This is called the Bosavi Crater. At 4 kilometers wide and 1 kilometer deep, the Bosavi Crater is truly massive, and it's a sight to behold. In 2009, a BBC-funded team descended into the crater. When they came out, they had knowledge of 40 brand new species of life. And that was just from one trip. Imagine if more teams went down there to explore it. Only time will tell what all it has to offer. Number 3. Son Doong Cave. In Vietnam, there exists a place called Son Doong Cave. Technically speaking, it was found by a man named Ho Khan, who discovered something odd coming from a hole in the side of the mountain. Don't they always? Anyway, he tried to explore it, but a rock wall got in the way. But in 2009 and 2010, a group of explorers went and conquered that wall, as well as another wall, and saw the insides of the cave for the first time. Son Doong Cave is not only massive, it has its own ecosystem, because within this cave was not only plants and animals, but its own sunlight via a hole in the roof of the cave, its own water sources, and more. While some of these things are common in caves, a lot of these other things aren't. It only goes bigger from there. Rivers, its own weather patterns, and much more fill this cave. It's alive in every sense of the word, and that truly makes this a lost world, because it sure acts like one. In terms of size, the Son Doong Cave is the largest cave in the world. The main core of the cave measures in at 3 miles long, over 660 feet high, and 490 feet wide. The cave is very large at its center. The cave itself, though, is actually longer than its core. All told, it goes over 5 miles in length, all of which continue to prove how unbelievable a place it is. 2. Mariana Trench. The ocean is a place in which we know a lot about, and yet know little about. True, it's claimed that we know all the areas of the oceans because we made the maps of the Earth. But in terms of depth and what's really down there, only 5% has been mapped. And we're still looking for areas that haven't been found yet, or researched heavily. If you don't believe me, look up the Mariana Trench, for that is an area that isn't naturally within reach of humans, but life down there is alive and well. You see, the Mariana Trench is actually 36,000 feet below sea level, one of the lowest points in our entire world. Yet, life lives there, and people have actually gone down to prove that. However, by people, I only mean 3. That's right, 4 people have gone down there ever since it was discovered. In 1960, Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard and USN Lieutenant Don Walsh did it in a submarine. They were forced to leave after only 20 minutes. Then, in 2012, legendary filmmaker James Cameron went down there in a personalized pod and spent hours documenting all the life he could see, which was limited because there's no natural light down there, so who knows what he could have seen if he had a better view of things. Cameron knew that there was so much more down there, and while probes have gone in the place of humans, there's still so much about life in the trench that we don't know about. A 4th human went down in 2019, but even with their descent, we still don't know much about the Mariana Trench as a whole. Should humanity find a way to get us down deeper, it could change our entire thought process on life in the ocean. Number 1. Amazon Rainforest. The Amazon rainforest may be known in that we know it's there, what mostly lives there, what countries it's in, and so on and so forth. But it's still got plenty of mysteries, mainly due to its size. After all, the Amazon rainforest has a 2.6 million square mile base. That's massive, and that entire area is filled with thick trees, massive rivers, and tons of animals and plant life. If you were to put a number on it so far, 40,000 plant species, 3,000 kinds of fish, and over 300 kinds of reptiles have been documented. Plus, that's not even mentioning all the mammals and insects that live in the Amazon. And due to the size and thickness of it all, there's still a lot left to be discovered, no doubt. So why haven't we gone and explored it? Well, over the many centuries, people have tried a lot. They've failed, always. Granted, we know some of the Amazon rainforest, but the deeper you go, the harder it gets for you to find your way and find your way out. Due to its diversity, the Amazon has numerous ways to make you turn back, and it includes animal attacks, diseases, plants giving people rashes or infections, and more. Now, that's not to say that eventually we won't make it through. It doesn't look likely for the immediate future. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think about these mysterious lost worlds? Which do you think are the coolest of the bunch? Which lost worlds do you think you'd love to try and visit one day? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.